Bandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Scha Om Agyana Timarandasya Yanajana Shilakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namo Gurva Bishtam Sapurikam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samastaveda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindabidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwaguruncha Divyat Bhagavat Prem Nawe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Shailanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bande Tam Shivaram Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shidaram Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratabhishe Namo. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is the Madhya-lila, chapter 8, talks between the Lord and Ramananda Raya. I'll start with verse number 138. Vrindavane aprakrita navinamadan kama gayatri kama bije jara upasan. In the spiritual realm of Vrindavan, Krishna is the spiritual ever-fresh Cupid. He is worshipped by the chanting of the Kama Gayatri mantra with the spiritual seed klim. So yesterday I read that purport by Srila Prabhupada. Very beautiful purport. So anyone who wishes to hear that purport, they can go back to yesterday's reading. It's recorded there. So now, verse number 139. Purushi yoshit kiva stavara jangam sarva chitta karshaka sakad manmata madan. The very name Krishna means that he attracts even Cupid. He is therefore attractive to everyone, male and female, moving and inert living entities. Indeed, Krishna is known as the all-attractive one. He's attractive to everyone. Male, female, humans, animals, cows, like cows. Everyone is attractive like Krishna. Tasam avirabuj choris smayamana mukambujaha pitambara dara shragvi sakshan manmataha. When Krishna left the Rasa Lila dance, the gopis became very morose, and when they were grieving, Krishna reappeared dressed in yellow garments. Wearing a flower garland and smiling, he was attractive even to Cupid. In this way, Krishna appeared among the gopis.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki.
Right, nice. Big garland. When Krishna left the Rasa Lila dance, the gopis became very morose, and when they were grieving, Krishna reappeared dressed in yellow garments, wearing a flower garland and smiling. He was attractive, even to Cupid. In this way, Krishna appeared among the gopis. So I get the Lord's garland. Nana Bhaktera Rasamrita Nana Bidahoy Se Sab Rasamritera Vishaya Ashroy. Each and every devotee has a certain type of transcendental mellow or rasa in relation to Krishna. But in all transcendental relationships, the devotee is the worshipper, ashray, and Krishna is the object of worship, vishai. So the worshipper, ashray, and Krishna is the object of worship, vishai. Akila rasamrita murti prasri mara ruchi ruda taraka palahi kalita shama lalita rara prayan vidur jayati. Let Krishna be glorified by virtue of his expanding attractive features. He subjugated the gopis named Taraka and Pauli and absorbed the minds of Shama and Lalita. He is the most attractive lover of Srimati Radharani and is the reservoir of pleasure for devotees in all relationships. Shringara rasarajmoy murtidar atevatma parjanta sarvachidahar. Krishna is all attractive for devotees in all rasas because he is the personification of the conjugal mellow. Krishna is attractive not only to all the devotees, but to himself as well. So this isn't a case of just some kind of narcissism. This is the nature of divinity. Krishna, the name, means he's attractive to everyone and everything that exists. And also to himself. That's all included. Vishvesham anuranjanena janayan ananda indivara shreni shamala komalar upanayan angar anangotsavam swachandam vraja sundaribir abhita prati angam alingita shringara saki murtiman eva mado mugdo hari kridati. My dear friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring. With the gopis embracing each of his limbs, he is like Morris love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft bluish black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. Lagmi Kantadi Avatarer Hareman Lakmiadi Nariganer Kore Akarshan. He also attracts Narayan, who is the incarnation of the Shankarshan and the husband of the goddess of fortune. He also attracts Narayan, who is the incarnation of Shankarshan and the husband of the goddess of fortune. He attracts not only Narayan, but also all women, headed by the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, the consort of Narayan. Dvijatmajame yuvayor didrikshuna mayopanita bhuvi dharma guptaye kalavatir navanen kalavatir nav anir barasuran hatveya bhuyas twarayetam antime. Dvijatmajame yuvayor didrikshuna mayo panita bhuvi dharma guptaye kalavatirna vananer barasuran hatveha bhuyas tvarayetam antime. Addressing Krishna and Arjuna, Mahavishnu, the Mahapurusha, said, I wanted to see both of you and therefore have brought the sons of the Brahman here. Both of you have appeared in the material world to reestablish religious principles, and you have both appeared here with all your potencies. After killing all the demons, please quickly return to the spiritual world. Here, this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam concerning Krishna's endeavor to take Arjuna beyond the material universe when Arjuna was searching for the sons of a Brahman. Lord Mahavishnu, who was situated beyond this material world, was also attracted by the bodily features of Krishna. Mahavishnu had actually stolen the sons of the Brahman in Dwarka so that Krishna and Arjuna would come visit him. This verse is quoted to show that Krishna is so attractive that he attracts Mahavishnu. This whole story of the sons of the Brahman is really very interesting, because one Brahman came to complain that in the kingdom ruled by the Pandavas and with Arjuna there, nothing so unusual or out of sequence, such as a son dying before his father, should ever occur. And as Brahman said, his son had died, and he was making claims against Yudhishthira, against Arjuna. Why has this happened? How can you have allowed this to happen? So then Arjuna went through so many different places. He went to Yamaraj, where supposedly the sons of the Brahman were, and they weren't there, and he went from one place to another, and finally Arjuna was so frustrated he was ready to give up his body, give up himself. And finally the whole thing led them to go to the realm of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu had himself stolen the sons of the Brahman because he wanted to see Krishna and Arjuna. So they had to go there to get the sons of the Brahman back from Mahavishnu. And the story's there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's actually very fascinating. But Lord Mahavishnu was situated beyond this material world, was also attracted by the bodily features of Krishna. Mahavishnu had actually stolen the sons of the Brahman in Dwarka so that Krishna and Arjuna would come visit him. This verse is also quoted to show that Krishna is so attractive that he attracts Mahavishnu. Kashanu Bhavo Shanad Deva Vidmahe Tavangirenu Sparashaditkara Yadvanshaya Shrir Lalanacharatapol Vihayakamansu Chiram Dritavrata. O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kali attained such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. Indeed, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya got such an opportunity. But who sang this? His wives. His wives. They're more or less saying, we don't know how our snaky husband got such an opportunity that he got the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. Because when the Kaliya was in the Jamuna, all the cowherd boys had entered the water, they'd all died. And Kaliya was there, and Krishna's a boy, and Krishna goes into the Jamuna, and at one time Kaliya has all his coils wrapped around Krishna, and everybody's going, oh no. But then Krishna gets free, and then Kaliya had many hoods, and Krishna begins dancing on all his hoods. And this eventually weakens Kaliya, and he becomes weakened, and then he agrees to go away from the Jamuna, and all the cowherd boys are revived. But the reason that Kaliya was there is because he was afraid of Garuda. Garuda kills snakes, and Kaliya figured that Jamuna is the only place where where Garuda won't attack him. So he went there. But the Nagapatnis, that means the wives of Kaliya. Naga means snake. So Nagapatnis, the wives of the snake. And they're saying, we don't know how our husband, who after all is a snake, how did he get how could he have gotten the dust of Krishna's lotus feet when Krishna danced on his hoods? O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attained such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this and the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all desires and observing austere vows. And indeed we do not know how this serpent Kaliya got such an opportunity. And this also occurs in Krishna's conversations with Balabhadra Bhattacharya, Venkatacharya he is a member of the Sri, when Krishna went to the Ranganath temple, he was there, and he's actually the father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and he's the brother of what is his name? Prakashananda Saraswati, great poet. Venkatabhata is their brother, and before is his brother's Prabhupada Saraswati. But he was worshipper of Lakshmi Narayan. So when he was there, when Mahaprabhu was there visiting the Ranganath temple, then Mahaprabhu said, why is it that Lakshmi executed so many austerities to get the association of Krishna? And then Venkata became very defensive, and he said, well, that's not, after all, Krishna and Narayan are related. That's not, Krishna's like the sporting model of Narayan, and he has different pastimes, so it's not unusual that Lakshmi would try to get his association. This is not unchaste on her part and everything, and he's very defensive about the whole thing. And then Mahaprabhu says, yes, that's all right. I don't argue that point. The only question I have is, she executed austerities for centuries to have the association of Krishna, but why was she unsuccessful? Why didn't she get it? Why was her austerities not so successful in getting Krishna's association? At that point, Venkata was totally frustrated. He says, I don't know, what I... And then Mahaprabhu said, because she can't give up the idea of her being the queen of Vaikuntha. She's Lakshmi. She's so attached. She has so much relationship with opulence, with majesty, with grandeur, with awe and reverence. And that's not the mood of Vrindavan. And she couldn't give those things up. So, of course, she couldn't get Krishna's association in Vrindavan, because there's no Aishvarya Gyan there. There's no sense of majesty and awe and reverence. Everything is in simple terms. Although there is real opulence and there is real majesty, but it's not visible. It's on a very different level. There's opulence because every tree is a desire tree. All the cows are kamadhenos. They give milk, which is pure nectar, love of Godhead, and trees are all desire trees, can fulfill any desire. All movement is dance, and the dust is made of chintamani, which is the most valuable jewels. But that's not so. But Lakshmi couldn't give up her sense of being the queen, to being so. Her name means the goddess of fortune, so she could not enter Krishna's pastime. Anyway, O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attained such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. Indeed, we do not know how this serpent, Kaliya, got such an opportunity. And if anybody wants to know what happens in the 10th canto, there's 90 chapters of the 10th canto, and the very center of the Srimad Bhagavatam. All Srimad Bhagavatam is all the pastimes of Krishna, the 10th canto. Someone wants to know that, then they should read the Krishna book. The Krishna book is Prabhupada's summary of all the pastimes of the 10th canto. You can know the 10th canto from the Krishna book. Very, very good. Apana madhurye kore, apana raman, apana apane chahe korite alingan. Lord Krishna's sweetness is so attractive that he steals away his own mind. Thus, even he wants to embrace himself. Aparikalita purvakash chamatkarakari surati mama gariyan esha madhurya puraha ayanaham apihanta prekshayam labdacheta sa rabasam upabhoktum kamaye radikeva. Upon seeing his own reflection in a bejeweled pillar of his Dwarka palace, Krishna desired to embrace it, saying, "Alas, I have never seen such a person before. Who is he? Just by seeing him, I have become eager to embrace him, exactly like Srimati Radharani." So, upon seeing his own reflection in a bejeweled pillar of his Dwarka palace, Krishna desired to embrace it, saying, "Alas, I have never seen such a person before. Who is he? Just by seeing him, I become eager to embrace him, exactly like Srimati Radharani." It's very telling, exactly like Srimati Radharani. So what is happening here? Krishna is not just wanting to embrace his own reflection. By seeing that reflection, what he is seeing, he is in Dwarka, but he's seeing Krishna in Vrindavan as a cowherd boy. Now he's a king. Now he's so opulent. But what he sees in the reflection, his attraction is going in the direction of seeing himself when he was a cowherd boy in Vrindavan with Srimati Radharani. That's what's attracting him. It's not just a question of attracting himself. He's attracted to that pastime of now he's a king. Now he's has so many wives. What is it? How many wives? 16,108 wives he has. You know, how did he get so many wives? A lot of them were stolen by, by one demon, and Krishna rescued them. I think 16,000 or something. Or more. They were rescued, and now that they had been touched by this demon, they could not get married. Nobody would have them. So they said, "We have no other way. So you have to accept all of us, because nobody will marry us." So Krishna accepted them all as his queens. Not only accepted all of them, but 16,108 had 10 sons with every queen. So not only accepted them. So, upon seeing his own reflection in the bejeweled pillar of his Dwarka palace, Krishna desired to embrace it, saying, "Alas, I have never seen such a person before. Who is he? Just by seeing him, I have become eager to embrace him, exactly like Srimati Radharani." Eta sankepi kohila Krishnera swarup, eve sankepi kohi shuna radha tattvarup. Sriman Ramananda Raya then said, "I have thus briefly explained the original form of Krishna. Now let me describe the position of Srimati Radharani." Krishnera Ananta Shakti Tate Teen Pradam Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti Nam. Krishna has unlimited potencies, which can be divided into three main parts. These are the spiritual potency, Chit Shakti, the material potency, Maya Shakti, and the marginal potency, which is known as the living entities, or Jiva Shakti. Krishna Ananta Shakti, Tate Teen Pradhan, Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti Nam. Krishna has unlimited potencies, which can be divided into three main parts. These are the spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as living entities. Anantaranga, Bahiranga, Tatastaka Hijare, Antaranga, Swarup Shakti, Sabara Upare. In other words, these are all potencies of God, internal, external, and marginal. But the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Chitragyakya Tata Para Avidya Karma Samgaya Tritiya Shaktir Ishyate. The original potency of Lord Vishnu is superior or spiritual, and the living entity actually belongs to that energy. But there is another energy called the material energy, and this third energy is full of ignorance. So this means there's the spiritual potency, the Lord's potency, and the living entities are paraprakriti. They're also of the nature of conscious spiritual energy, and Maya Shakti is ignorance. The third energy is full of ignorance. Satchidananda Mayi Krishnera Swarupa Deva Swarup Shakti Hoy Tina Rup. Originally, Lord Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Therefore, his personal potency, the internal potency, has three different forms. Anandamshe Ladini, Swadamshe Sandini, Chidamshe Samvit Jare Jnanakori Mani. Ladini is his aspect of bliss, Sandini of eternal existence, and Sambit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Okay. The pleasure-giving potency, the eternal potency, Sandini, Chidamsi, knowledge, Sambit. Ladini Sandini Sambit Tvayeka Sarva Samshraye Laratapa Kori Mishra Tvayino Gunavarjite. My dear Lord, you are the transcendental reservoir of all potency. No, my dear Lord, you are the reservoir of all qualities. Sometimes I have to take out the word transcendental. They use it like salt and pepper just all over. You know, you can't confuses you, so many transcendental, so take it. My dear Lord, you are the reservoir of all qualities. Your pleasure potency, existence potency, and knowledge potency are actually all one internal spiritual potency. The conditioned soul, although actually spiritual, sometimes experiences pleasure, sometimes pain, and sometimes a mixture of pain and pleasure. This is due to his being touched by matter. But because you are above all material qualities, these are not found in you. Your superior spiritual potency is completely transcendental. For you, there is no such thing as relative pleasure, pleasure with pain, or pain itself. Krishna ke aklade tate namaladini se shakti dwari sukha asvadayapani. So Krishna cannot be, of course this means Krishna cannot be affected by the Maya potency, but the jivas are very small, so they can, when they turn away from Krishna, then they can be affected by Maya potency. So someone says, how can they turn away from Krishna? When they say, well, it's just the nature of illusion. you're very small and you want to you misuse your minute independence, then you're asking for trouble. Krishna ke alade tate namaladini se shakti dware sukha ashwadayapani. What is it the devil says in the Paradise Lost? He says, better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. You know? So some people, they want to be enjoyers. That's, wonder how we got here. Krishna ke alane tate namaladini se shakti dware sukha ashvade apani. Someone could say, me wanting to be an enjoyer? How is that possible? Yeah, like we really believe you. We believe that the living entity is saying, oh, why I'm startled by this realization. Krishna ke alade tate namaladini se shakti dwari sukha aswaryapani. The potency called Ladini gives Krishna transcendental pleasure. Through this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasure. Sukha rupa, Krishna kore, sukha ashvadan, bhaktagane, sukha dite, Ladini karan. Lord Krishna tastes all kinds of happiness, although he himself is happiness personified. The pleasure relished by his pure devotees is also manifested by his pleasure potency. Ladinir saramsha tara preman nam ananda chinmoy rasa premera akyan. The most essential part of this pleasure potency is love of God at prema. Consequently, the explanation of love of God is also a mellow full of pleasure. Ananda Chinmoya Rasa, Premera. That's the nature of prema. It's Ananda Chinmoya Rasa, the platform of spiritual mellows, or divine. Okay. Premera Paramasar Mahabhava Jani Se Mahabhava Rupa Radha Takurani. The essential part of love of God is called Mahabhava, transcendental ecstasy. See, and that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. Essential part of love of God is called Mahabhava, pure, the personification of ecstasy, and that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. Taror api ubayor madhye radhika sarvadadika Mahabhava Sarupeyam Gunar Ativar Variya Yashi Tayorapi Ubayor Madhye Radhika Sarvatkari Sarvat Hadika Tayorapi Ubayor Madhye Radhika Sarvat Hadika Mahabhava Swarupeyam Gunar Ativariyasi. Among the gopis of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani and another gopi are considered chief. But when we compare the gopis, it appears that Srimati Radharani is most important because her real feature expresses the highest ecstasy of love. The ecstasy of love experienced by the other gopis cannot be compared to that of Srimati Radharani. Premara Sarup Deha Prema Vibhavita Krishnarab Prayasi Shrestha Jagate Vedita. The body of Srimati Radharani is a veritable transformation of love of God, and she is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita Vis Tabir Ya Eva Nija Rupa Taya Kalabhihi Kalokeva Nivasat Yakilat Mabuto Govindamari Parusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies ecstatic potency, Ladini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Say Mahabhava hoy, Chintamani sar, Krishna vansha purna kore, ekorai, ekari, karyatar. That supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Well, what is it also meaning about Srimati Radharani? What is she make always? That's her nature, to fulfill all the pleasure, desire of Krishna. But it's also if we speak of the powerful and the power. Krishna may be very powerful, but without power, there's no meaning. So power is Shakti, and Radharani is Shakti. And Govinda Maharaj compared it to a light bulb. He says a light bulb may give off light, but only when the electricity is flowing through it. So that electricity is the power, and Krishna is the powerful. This Radharani is that Shakti, that Mahabhava Chintamani Radha Sarup Lalitari Sakitara Krishna Vyuharu. Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. Radha Prati Krishna Sneha Sugandhi Udvartan Tate Ati Sugandhi Deho Ujjvala Varan. Srimati Radharani's body is brilliant in luster and full of fragrances. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfume massage. Very famous description. Srimati Radharani's body is brilliant in luster and full of all fragrances. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfume massage. Sugandhi Udvartana refers to a paste made of several perfumes and fragrant oils. This paste is massaged all over the body, and in this way the body's dirt and perspiration are removed. Srimati Radharani's body is automatically perfumed, but when her body is massaged with the scented paste of Lord Krishna's affection, her entire body is doubly perfumed and made brilliant and lustrous. And this is the beginning of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's description of Srimati Radharani's body, transcendental body. This description found in verses 165 through 181 is based on a book by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami known as Premamboja Maranda. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur's translation of the original Sanskrit reads as follows: The love of the gopis for Krishna is full of ecstasy. It appears to be a brilliant jewel and enlightened by such a transcendental jewel. Radharani's body is further perfumed and decorated with kumkum. In the morning, her body is bathed in the nectar of compassion. In the afternoon, in the nectar of youth. And in the evening, in the nectar of luster itself. In this way, the bathing is performed, and her body becomes as brilliant as a Chintamani jewel. She is dressed in various kinds of silken garments, one of which is her natural shyness. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with the red kumkum of beauty itself and the blackish musk of conjugal love. Thus her body is decorated with different colors. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of ecstasy: trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning, perspiration, faltering of the voice, bodily redness, madness and dullness. In this way, her entire body is bedecked with these dullness means like stunned, being stunned. In this way, her entire body is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her qualities, which constitute the flower garland hanging on her body. Now, ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhir, and adhir is sober and restless. Such ecstasy constitutes the covering of Srimati Radharani's body and is adorned by camphor. Her anger towards Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of the hair on her head, and the tilak of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of his name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna and gentle smiling constitute the camphor with which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride, and when she lies down in her bed, the variety of her loving ecstasies is like a jeweled locket in the midst of her necklace of separation. Her breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger toward Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as the Kachapi Veena, which is the fame and fortune that actually dries up the faces and breasts of the other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of her gopi friend, who represents her youthful beauty, and although she is highly qualified with so many spiritual assets, she is nonetheless affected by the Cupid known as Krishna. Thus she is defeated. Srila Raghunath Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, taking a straw in his mouth. Straw in his mouth means humbly does this. Indeed, he prays, O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as Lord Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please don't reject me. This is a summary translation of the Premamboja Maranda, which Kaviraj Goswami quotes. Wow, pretty intense. Some things you almost shouldn't, you wonder if you should read them, huh? Karunyamrita Dharaya Snana Pratam Karunyamrita Dharaya Snana Madhyama. Srimati Radharani takes her first bath in the shower of the nectar of compassion, and she takes her second bath in the nectar of youth. Lavanyamrita Dharaya Tad Uparishnan Nijalaja Shama Pata Sati Paridan. After her midday bath, Radharani takes another bath in the nectar of bodily luster, and she puts on the garment of shyness, which is her black silk sari. Krishnanuraga Dvitiya Aruna Basan Ranaya Mana Kanchuli Kaya Vaksha Achadan. Well, sometimes I think Srimati Radharani is called, what is Krishna's, what is Mahaprabhu's maternal grandfather? Neela, like Neela, Neelambar Chakravarti. So it says black silk sari, but sometimes we will see it's described as a dark blue sari. Dark blue sari. Shama, black, but also dark blue, Nilambar. Krishnanuraga Tritiya Arunabasan Pranayamana Kanchulikaya Bhakka Achadan. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna is her upper garment, which is pinkish in color. She then covers her breast with another garment composed of affection and anger toward Krishna. So affection and anger, she is. Let's see, where does it say? I want to see, at least read to where it's mentioned. Huh. 165 to 181. Okay. Saundarya Kung. Saundarya Kunkuma Saki Pranaya Chandan Smita Kante Karpura Tine Ange Vilepan. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is the reddish powder known as kumkum. Her affection for her associates is sandalwood pulp, and the sweetness of her smile is camphor. All these combined together are smeared on her body. Krishnara Ujjvala Rasa Mrigam Madhabar Se Mrigam Madhe Vichitrita Kolevar. Conjugal love for Krishna is an abundance of musk, and with that musk her whole body is decorated. Prachana Mana Vamya Damila Vinyas Dira Diratmaka Guna Ange Patabas. Craftiness and covered anger constitute the arrangement of her hair. The quality of anger due to jealousy is the silk garment covering her body. Raga Tambula Rage Adara Ujwa Prema Kotilya Netra Jugale Kajal. Her attachment for Krishna is the reddish color of betel nuts on her brilliant lips. Her double dealings in loving affairs constitute the black ointment around her eyes. Sudipta Sattvika Bhava Varshadi Sanchari Esava Bhava Bhushana Sava Angeburi. The ornaments decorating her body are the blazing ecstasies of goodness and the constantly existing ecstasies headed by jubilation. All these ecstasies are the ornaments all over her body. Sudipta Sattvika Bhava Kila Kinshi Tadi Bhava Vimsati Bhushita Guna Shreni Pushpa Mala Sarvange Purita. Also ornamenting her body are the 20 kinds of ecstatic symptoms, beginning with Kila Kinchita. Her transcendental qualities constitute the flower garland hanging in fullness over her body. Saubhagya Tilaka Charu Lalate Ujjwal Prema Vaichitya Ratna Hridaya Taral. The tilak of good fortune is on her beautiful broad forehead. Her various loving affairs are a gem, and her heart is the locket. Madhya Bayasa Saki Skande Koranyas Krishna Lila Manovriti Saki Ashabash. Srimati Radharani's gopi friends are her mental activities, which are concentrated on the pastimes of Sri Krishna. She keeps her hand on the shoulder of a friend who represents youth. Nijanga Sura Balaye Garva Paryanka Tate Basi Ache Sara Chinte Krishna Sangha. Srimati Radharani's bedstead is pride itself, and is situated in the abode of her bodily aroma. She is always seated there, thinking of Krishna's association. Krishna Nama Guna Yasha Abatam Shakane Krishna Nama Guna Jasha Pravaha Vachane. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the name, fame, and qualities of Krishna. The glories of Krishna's name, fame, and qualities are always inundating her speech. Krishna ke karaya shama rasa madhu prapan nirantara purna kore krishnara sarvakam. Srimati Radharani induces Krishna to drink the honey of the conjugal relationship. She is therefore engaged in satisfying all the lusty desires of Krishna. Krishnara Vishuddha Prema Ratnara Kar Anupama Gunagana Purna Kolevar. Srimati Radharani is a mind filled with valuable jewels of love for Krishna. Her body is complete with unparalleled spiritual qualities. Krishnasya pranaya jani bhu Srimati Radhikaika kasya prayasi anupama guna Radhikaika nachanya jaimyam keshi drishi daralata nishturat vam kuchesha Vansha Purtyai Prabhavati Hare Radhikaika Nachanya. If one asked about the origin of love of Krishna, the answer is that the origin is in Srimati Radharani alone. Who is the most dear friend of Krishna? The answer again is Srimati Radharani alone. No one else. Srimati Radharani's hair is very curly. Her two eyes are always moving to and fro, and her breasts are firm. Since all qualities are manifested in Srimati Radharani, she alone is able to fulfill all the desires of Krishna, no one else. Jara Sobhagya Guna Vanshe Satyabhama Jara Tang Kala Vilasa Shiki Rajarama Jara Sundar Jari Guna Vanshe Lakshmi Parvati Jara Pativrata Dharma Vanshe Arundhati. Even Satyabhama, one of the queens of Sri Krishna, desires fortunate position and excellent qualities of Srimati Radharani. All the gopis learn the art of dressing from Srimati Radharani. And even the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, and the wife of Lord Shiva, Parvati, desire her beauty and qualities. Indeed, Arundhati, the celebrated chaste wife of Vasishta, also wants to imitate the chastity and religious principles of Srimati Radharani. Jara Sadguna Gunane Krishna Napai Par Taraguna Ganibe Kemane Jiva Jar. Even Lord Krishna himself cannot reach the limit of the transcendental qualities of Srimati Radharani. How then can an insignificant living entity count them? Prabhu Kohe Janilum Krishna Radha Prema Tattva Shunite Chohiye Duhar Vilasa Mahatva. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Now I have come to understand the truth of the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. Nonetheless, I still want to hear how both of them gloriously enjoy such love." Okay. So that's where I'll start tomorrow. I heard about the divine qualities of Krishna and Radharani, so that's going to be it for today. Okay. Okay. Now, this chapter is pretty, yeah, sure is very, very essential. Hariharaya Nama Krishna Chaitanya Nama Janavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Govinda Ram Shrimadi Sridham Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Mina Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raguna Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabishta Puran Jai Gosai Jai Muitanada Tasama Pada Renu Mora Panchaga Tade Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniba Janame More Abila Radha Krishna Madhya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Padima Jayama Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narathamuda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Jai Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giriraju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajakacharya Ashtatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Tilak Nehriya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajakacharya Ashtatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajakacharya Ashtatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramajakacharya Ashtatara Sadasi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Marga Ki Jai Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Sigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasili Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Vishvavaranya Srila Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Vrindavana Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kushamashra Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Kotu Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Namadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Namayapur Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Saparshada Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Koladvip Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai Ganga Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kun Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Ki Jai Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nrsingadev Ki Jai Bhakta Prabhata Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol
Srila Bhakti Maharaj Ki Jai.